All right, so here's my review of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the whole series. I was really excited for it in the beginning. The first couple episodes were really, really good. But then as things went on, I couldn't quite place it and I couldn't quite understand why. But I found myself not wanting to watch it. Not that I was like actively like, oh, I don't want to watch it. I just wasn't excited when it came out on Fridays. Like something like The Boys or Invincible, it's like, oh yeah, it's Friday. The boys are coming on, Invincible's coming on. It's like, oh, I can't wait to watch. I can't wait to watch the new episode tonight or whatever night. And I found myself not really caring. Like the last episode, like I was always just like a few days behind. I'll get to it, or it's like I never really. And it's not like I wasn't watching other things. Like I didn't have any time to watch TV. Even my girlfriend, because we were watching together, she didn't really care. Like we were watching other shows than the last couple episodes. And I just now finished the last episode and it's been out for like I think like a week and I just now finished the last one. And so I couldn't understand like why I didn't, really care that much. And then I kind of and then I kind of watched like other people's review of it and I'm like, "Oh yeah, that does make sense." It's almost like you can't pinpoint it, but then when someone else mentions something, you're like, oh yeah, that kind of stuff does bug me, or that kind of stuff is like annoying. And it's just like when you have like so many of these things, like a lot of people can't pinpoint why they don't like it or why they're not interested anymore. Is but it's like maybe it takes someone who's more of a film buff or something like that to pinpoint certain things, and you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. So it's almost like subconsciously your brain's like shutting off, but you don't know why. Um, so I guess I'll go through everything. One of my favorite MCU movies was Captain America and the Winter Soldier. I liked the mysterious Bucky, the dark Bucky, and then yeah, he became normal. But then I feel like when he wasn't the Winter Soldier, there wasn't much to him anymore. He was just kind of like a person who's, I guess he has a super soldier serum and he has a metal arm. That's cool. But I feel like for the last couple movies, he's just there, and he doesn't have much of an arc, and I feel like he doesn't add much of anything, and so that was kind of prevalent now. And then the Falcon was, I don't understand his whole arc. He's like, okay, Steve Rogers gave him the shield, and then he goes, I don't want the shield, and hate, I cannot stand when, like, especially in the X-Men, when there's like, oh, poor me, I don't want all this power. Why me? I understand if you are a mutant and you basically look like a giant slug and you have no powers other than moving slow or so, I don't know, something dumb. And you just look hideous and gross, and then it's like, yeah, your powers they're not that great, right? So they don't outweigh the fact that you look kind of like a freak. I get that. I get those people like, I don't want to be a mutant, right? But I can't stand the people that's like, they have like the slightest inconvenience, but they have the most awesome powers. And it's just like, oh, cry me a river, please. I just, to me, that's just like, I hate that trope. I hate that. It's like, I just want to be normal. And so that's kind of how Falcon was. He's like, I don't deserve the shield. I don't think I should have it for reasons, even though Captain America, Chris Evans, gave him the shield. And then the government was like, here, take the shield. So the U.S., the entire U.S. government was behind him. Captain America was behind him. The entire Avengers was behind him. Like, even Bucky was just like, yeah, dude, take it. And he's like, oh, I don't want it. And then so they pass it on to someone else. He gets mad. And it's just like, what? Like, what do you think they're going to do? They needed a Captain America. So I kind of hated his arc that way. And then in the end, he gets it. And he takes it up. Duh. Um, so I just kind of like, that whole thing kind of bugged me a little bit. I really liked John Walker. I liked him. I liked how he kind of had like this edge to him, and he could turn potentially evil. At the end, he like doesn't go after the people and saves the bus full of senators or whatever it was. But I like John Walker a lot. I liked Zemo a lot. I always liked Zemo because I like it when villains have clear intentions and it makes sense. That's why I love Thanos. Like Thanos to me makes perfect sense. Like there's too many people, too many things, not enough resources. We need to thin it out, cut it in half. Now, obviously, I don't agree with it, but his logic to me makes sense. Um, so Zemo was very cool. Like, hey, super soldiers shouldn't exist because they're too much of a liability and they could go evil, all this kind of stuff. And so he wants to get rid of them. Makes sense. And he's really smart. So I like Zemo. I like John Walker. I didn't like the Flag Smashers because that main girl. I thought when you take, like, so Steve Rogers takes the super soldier serum, and he goes from like a 90-pound weakling to this beefy Hulk-looking dude, right? How come she's still small and like weak and stuff? Like, shouldn't she get huge and stuff? Like, why did she stay the same size? And their motivations for the Flag Smashers was kind of stupid. It was like, oh, we liked it before when half the population was gone because we had more stuff. Now half the population came back and they wanted their stuff back, and now we don't have anything. And it's like, okay, like, so you're going around killing people because they don't agree with the fact that half the world came back. So you're mad that half the world came back. Everyone else is happy because they're like, oh, my brothers, my sisters, my mom, my dad, my aunts, my uncles, my son, my daughter, my friends, all coming back. Oh, I'm so excited. But a small group of people are like, no, I don't like that everyone is happy and that they came and took their stuff back. I want their stuff for me, and I don't care that your dad is gone or your daughter is gone. That's your problem. I want your house and your stuff. Like, to me, I'm like, what? I'm so confused. So instead, they're gonna kill people to do it, and then I'm like, okay. So I never really, I always, towards the end, like I was so confused. Like the show at the very last episode, your Falcon's like, no, I don't want to kill this. Her name's Carly, I believe. I don't want to kill Carly. I don't want to hurt her. Like, and he's trying everything he can to not shoot her or not get her hurt, and he doesn't really want to fight her and all this kind of stuff. And then Sharon Carter ends up shooting her, and then he like holds her like, oh my gosh, you can't believe you died. I mean, this person's a murderer and a terrorist. She's a terrible person. I was so happy when she died. And then he like flies and he holds her like he's an angel coming down and holding this like woman's body like she was the greatest thing ever. I'm like, she was going to blow up a building. She didn't care how many people she killed. She killed anyone that was in her way for her goal that made no sense. Like, she was a terrible person. So, like, I'm like, why are you acting like this activist / terrorist is amazing? She just went wrong. And they called her a teenager. She was not a teenager. She looked like she was, like, late 20s, early 30s. So, and she stole the super soldier serum. So, to me, all that stuff just didn't make any sense. I didn't really get it. And then I just hate how they inject politics into everything, like all the time, like current politics and what we're going into. So like, it was just like, ugh, like I just want to watch my show, and that's why I liked Invincible. I liked Invincible way more. It was just a good story. Like they didn't have to inject all this like current stuff in there, and I loved the story in Invincible so much more, to the point where I'm excited to see what happens next. But with Falcon and Winter Soldier, I'm just like, I don't know. I also liked Chris Evans, so he will be missed in Captain America 4. So I don't know. I would give it probably, because some of this stuff is really good though. Like the action scenes, I was like amazed for a TV show. Really good, especially that first scene where he's in the canyon flying around. So some of the stuff was really, really cool. I would say, though, as me coming out of it caring about any of the characters, the only ones I care about is Zemo and John Walker. But I'm glad he's in it still. And they showed Zemo at the end, so maybe he's going to be in future stuff as well. But as far as Bucky and Falcon, I don't really care as much about them. Like, obviously, I'm going to see Captain America 4, but yeah, so I would say it's like a 6 or a 7, somewhere in there. The action scene was really, really cool. Some of the stuff was really fun. John Walker, I really liked his story arc probably the most. But let me know what you think.